exercise. We hope that you will consider sharing this with your friends if you host a gathering of friends, if you want to introduce opportunity to a church group or a community group or a youth group. You now can run a trust group exercise, and I'd be more than happy to email you the instructions so you can do that. Opportunity International has over 1 million clients on 5 continents. And it's stunning when you stop to consider that each client has a story. Stories of struggle, hope, and with God's grace, economic stability. And yet few people hear their stories. Loan officers do, and those of you who have gone on insight trips have heard these stories. But for the great majority of our clients, their stories remain unknown beyond a small circle of their families and trust groups. We'd like to take just a few moments to honor our clients, and we're going to do so by sharing their stories. Some from their perspective, some from ours. We've invited a few of our governors to tell about a memorable client they've met or an experience in the field that fostered greater insight or compassion. Further, we've asked that each of these stories be sifted down to its essence in as few words as possible. We've asked the musicians to provide a little underscoring for the stories that you'll hear. And at this time, I'd like to invite our readers to come to the stage. And because there are a number of stories, we please ask that you hold your applause until we've completed all of the stories.
It was difficult to reconcile that just 15 years earlier, Onisa had suffered the complete destruction of her village in the Rwandan genocide. Yet here she was, a survivor and fighter, explaining to us how she had grown her small grocery business, assisted by an opportunity loan, into 2 successful larger businesses. Her greatest pride? Giving my children an opportunity, she said, for medicine, clothing, and education. Pride indeed. At this very moment, Onisa's eldest daughter is attending university in the U.S.
Joseph, a middle-aged gentleman in Tanzania and a tailor. For many years, his daily output was 3 pairs of pants. Though the pants were well made, Joseph could not buy more fabric to make more pants because he had no extra cash. Then Joseph found out about opportunity and took out his first loan. I was introduced to him at his new storefront location, where he now employs 2 people from the community to assist him. Now, instead of making 3 pairs of pants a day, Joseph produces a pair every 15 minutes.
Pride is something that you can see in people's eyes and the way they go about their work. Near Arusha, Tanzania, 8 clients share a market space the length of 2 football fields. Inside, large bags of used clothing from around the world. Maybe even one of my discarded t-shirts or old khaki pants. Clothing casually disposed of, now carefully sorted, cleaned, repaired, and resold to customers who value them. Like the rejuvenated clothing they provided, these clients have been given new life and new opportunity.
Luz Marina Gonzalez once worked in a sewing factory. Now she owns her own business and makes more money. She is passionate about the beautiful dresses she creates and rents for major events. First communions, weddings, age 15 celebrations. I have time for my family now, Luz says, sitting at her sewing machine. Though her dresses are stored in a dark closet, her dream, she says, is to have an entire showcase for them.
At the end of a trust group meeting in Guadalajara, Mexico, one of my fellow travelers asked the group, "What has been the impact of our loans?" After many inspiring responses, one girl, much younger than the other members, slowly raised her hand and, with much hesitation, spoke for the first time that day. Meekly and through tears, she said that through the people she met at the trust bank and with opportunity, she learned she had value as a person. She went on to say she was raised in a house where as the only girl, she was treated with little dignity or respect. It was only when she met the ladies of the trust bank that she discovered she mattered.
Near Lima, Peru, we visited a small t-shirt factory owned by a young Mayo client. The opportunity loans he had received and paid back allowed him to purchase multiple sewing machines, expand the size of his workplace, and provide wages, lunch, and childcare to the 10 young women who worked for him. By our economic standards, their wages were exploitive, but we learned that the employees did not feel that way. They were grateful for the opportunity to work and to work in jobs created within and for their own community.
Fabio Aponte Vergara is a baker in Cartagena, Colombia. He sleeps just 5 hours a day from 8 a.m. until 2 p.m. because otherwise he is baking and selling his goods. His wife runs a convenience store set up in front of the home, the place of his bakery, and now on his 4th loan cycle, Fabio has diversified and renting Xbox games from their home. When we met him during our Insight trip, he seemed proudly self-sufficient, though grateful for our interest and our show of support. I quote, "Sometimes I feel alone, but when I see you all here, I feel better."
With her first loan, Maria Esquivel, a single mom, purchased everything she needed to start her business. A comb, a brush, a dishpan, a chair, and some shampoo. When we met her on her 8th loan cycle, her situation had changed. She rented a beautiful salon in a major street in Santo Domingo, 3 chairs, 4 employees, 1 son at the University of Miami, and another one that had been accepted for that fall. Maria Esquivel, a real entrepreneur.
Tina lived in the dirty slums of Honduras. She was a 35-year-old seamstress and had received 2 loans from Opportunity International. She was a trust group member, and her loans had radically changed the economics of her life. Yes, she was certainly pulling herself out of wretched poverty. But what reached out and grabbed my heart was when she said, "I never understood the meaning of the word friend. I never had a friend until I became a member of a trust group."
At a trust group meeting in Ghana, 65-year-old Ernestina speaks to her group. She sells a maize product and in her 3rd loan cycle is building a house for her family. "I have improved my business with every loan I've received, and so can you," she tells her group, and encourages them to join the savings program. At the close of her talk, she tells the women, many of them less than half her age, "I have never given up on having a better life for myself."
I cringed when an American asked Margaret Siaka if she wouldn't prefer that her loan be an outright gift. Not to worry. The Ghanaian seamstress stood tall and declared, "No. If the money were given to me, I wouldn't work as hard. This way, when I pay back my loan, the money is lent to someone else. So by my work, I'm helping another woman who's poor."
Thank you. Real stories of real people who are given an opportunity with a small loan. Thank you, storytellers, for adding your voice to those of our clients. For our final story for the conference, we take you to South Africa,